Self-belief is a deliberate decision that begins long before results show up and long before anyone notices your progress. It's a conscious choice to trust your ability even when your circumstances tell you otherwise. Most people wait for evidence before they believe in themselves, but true self-belief works in reverse. You decide first, and the evidence follows later. It's the inner declaration that you are capable, worthy, and prepared to grow into whatever your purpose demands of you. When you treat self-belief as a decision, you stop waiting for motivation to magically appear. You stop hoping that someone will validate your potential or affirm your dreams. Instead, you step into the identity of someone who knows they have what it takes, even if you're still learning, growing, and evolving. This decision becomes the foundation that holds you steady when challenges rise, when people misunderstand, and when the journey feels longer than expected. Every successful person you admire made a private choice long before the public applause. They decided to believe when there was no spotlight, no encouragement, no guarantee. They understood that belief is not reactive, it's proactive. It is a mindset you must renew daily because doubt has a way of sneaking back in if you're not intentional. Belief must be strengthened the same way muscle is built, through repetition, resistance, and resilience. Self-belief also shifts the way you respond to obstacles. When you don't believe in yourself, every setback feels like a signal to stop. But when you've made the decision to believe, obstacles become information, not condemnation. Instead of questioning your worth, you analyze your strategy. Instead of quitting, you adjust. The decision to believe gives you the mental endurance to keep climbing when the path gets difficult. Choosing self-belief rewires the way you speak to yourself. Your self-talk becomes fuel instead of friction. You start replacing phrases like, I can't with I will learn, I'm afraid with I'm willing, and I'm not ready with I'm becoming ready. Your words rise to match your vision, and your mind begins to align with the identity you're stepping into. This inner alignment creates a confidence that no external force can easily shake. This decision also pushes away the need for perfection. When you believe in yourself, you give yourself permission to start imperfectly. You understand that progress comes from momentum, not flawless execution. You stop overthinking and start moving. You stop waiting for certainty and start trusting your capacity to handle whatever comes next. The fear of failure loses power because you recognize that failure is only final if you refuse to rise again. Self-belief unlocks a new level of responsibility. Once you decide to believe in yourself, you can no longer blame your past, your environment, or your limitations for where you are. You take ownership of your direction and your decisions. You hold yourself accountable to the standard you know you're capable of reaching. This accountability becomes a form of empowerment because you realize that every step forward is within your control. When you choose to believe, your vision expands. You begin to see possibilities that were invisible when doubt dominated your mind. You dream bigger, plan bolder, and take actions that align with a future version of yourself rather than the present one. Your imagination stops being a place of fear and starts becoming a blueprint for your potential. Belief opens the door to inspiration, and inspiration fuels disciplined action. Making self-belief a decision also transforms the way you interpret your potential. You stop measuring yourself against others and start measuring yourself against your purpose. You no longer settle for the average path or the comfortable route. Instead, you push yourself into spaces that require growth, faith, and courage. You become more intentional about your habits, your environment, and your mindset because you understand that everything you do is shaping the person you're becoming. Ultimately, choosing to believe in yourself gives you the strength to move forward, even when you don't have all the answers. It allows you to walk with confidence, even when the future is uncertain. It empowers you to act boldly, speak boldly, and live boldly because you know that the greatest version of you is built from the inside out. Your past patterns cannot shape your future because your future is built by who you decide to become, not who you used to be. Too many people let old habits, old mistakes, and old versions of themselves dictate what they believe is possible. But the truth is, the moment you choose a new direction, the moment you commit to new standards, your future begins to shift. You are not bound by what you once tolerated, accepted, or repeated. You are only bound by what you continue to choose. The patterns of your past were created by the mindset you carried at that time. They were shaped by your level of awareness, your environment, your fears, and your limited understanding of who you could be. As you grow, those patterns lose their power because they no longer match the person you are becoming. When you elevate your thinking, you disrupt the cycle. When you expand your self-image, you outgrow the behaviors that once held you back. Your future responds to the evolution of your mind, not the memories of your past. Even the mistakes that once embarrassed you or the failures that once discouraged you cannot define the path in front of you. They are data, not destiny. They are lessons, not limitations. Every wrong turn taught you something that can be used to make wiser choices. Every disappointment refined your vision and clarified what truly matters. When you refuse to let those experiences imprison your potential, you reclaim your power to build something greater than anything you've seen before. Your future begins the moment you make a different choice. And one different choice can break a pattern that has repeated for years. You don't need a complete transformation overnight. You just need consistent decisions that align with the future you want to create. The smallest shift in discipline, focus, or belief can redirect your entire trajectory. You are one decision away from rewriting a story you thought was already written. Your environment may have shaped your old patterns, but your awareness shapes your future. When you become aware of the behaviors that drain your potential, you gain the ability to disconnect from them. When you become aware of the thoughts that limit you, you gain the ability to replace them. Awareness is the gateway to change because you cannot transform something you refuse to acknowledge. The more clearly you see yourself, the more powerfully you can redesign your direction. Your habits might have been built from survival, fear, or insecurity, but your future can be built from purpose, clarity, and conviction. You are allowed to outgrow the routines and rhythms that once felt normal. You are allowed to evolve beyond the identity you adopted years ago. You are allowed to release the version of yourself that was shaped by pain or uncertainty. Reinvention is not betrayal, it's proof of growth. Letting go of old patterns is not weakness, it's wisdom. The future you desire requires a new level of discipline, and discipline always breaks patterns. It demands that you show up when you used to avoid, commit when you used to hesitate, and take responsibility when you used to make excuses. Every time you choose discipline over comfort, you weaken the influence of your past. Every time you choose growth over familiarity, you strengthen the foundation of your future. Your future is not waiting on the world around you to change. It is waiting on you to change your internal programming. When you shift your mindset, everything around you eventually shifts to match it. Opportunities appear where you once saw obstacles. Strength rises where you once felt fear. Progress shows up where you once remained stuck. Your world expands in the exact proportion that your mindset expands. Letting go of past patterns also means forgiving yourself for the times you didn't know better. It means releasing the guilt, the regret, and the self-criticism that keep you tied to an outdated version of who you used to be. Self-forgiveness creates space for new growth, new decisions, and new possibilities. It frees your mind to focus on what you can change instead of what you cannot undo. Without forgiveness, the past keeps replaying. With forgiveness, the future becomes available. Your future is bigger than your history, and the person you are becoming is far more powerful than the person you used to be. You were never meant to remain trapped in a loop of old behaviors, old fears, or old limitations. The moment you recognize that your future is shaped by intention, not repetition, you unlock the ability to build a life that reflects your highest potential instead of your former patterns. Your environment won't always validate you because most people around you only understand the version of you they've already seen, not the version of you that's being developed. When you begin to dream bigger, think differently, or step into a higher level of ambition, your environment may not know how to respond. People get comfortable with who you used to be, and your growth can feel unfamiliar or even threatening to them. Validation becomes rare not because you're wrong, but because you're evolving beyond what others can easily recognize. There will be seasons when your vision feels too large for the room you're in. You might share your goals with people who look at you with confusion instead of excitement. You may express your dreams only to hear silence or skepticism. This is not a sign to shrink, it's a sign to rise. When you are growing, the people who lack the same hunger might not understand your commitment, and that is perfectly fine. Your growth is not a group project, and your purpose is not up for public approval. Your environment may not validate you because it wasn't designed to accommodate your next level. If you remain dependent on outside affirmation, you'll limit your potential to whatever those around you can comprehend. You can't expect people who have settled to cheer for someone who refuses to. Sometimes people discourage you not because they don't believe in success, but because they don't believe they can succeed. And your ambition exposes that. Your focus becomes a mirror that forces others to confront their own choices. When you stop seeking validation, you begin to trust your inner compass. You learn to rely on your conviction instead of the crowd. You start valuing your progress even when no one notices it. You become your own source of confidence, your own source of motivation, your own reminder that your vision has worth. This independence strengthens your mindset because you stop depending on inconsistent encouragement to stay committed. It teaches you to move forward even when applause is absent. Your environment won't always validate you because many people view your life through the lens of your past, not your potential. They remember your mistakes, your insecurities, or your beginnings, and they assume those things define your limits. But you're constantly changing, constantly growing, constantly rewriting your story. Expecting validation from people stuck in the memory of who you once were will only hold you back from becoming who you were meant to be. Growth requires moving beyond old perceptions. Sometimes the absence of validation is actually protection. It prevents you from relying too heavily on external praise, which can easily inflate or deflate your self-worth. When people do not validate you, you are forced to build a foundation that cannot be shaken by criticism or strengthened only by applause. You begin to act from intention rather than from the desire to impress. This shift creates a deeper level of authenticity because your actions come from purpose instead of performance. Your environment may challenge you with jealousy, doubt, or indifference, but those challenges create resilience in you. When you learn to move forward despite the resistance, you develop the strength to pursue your goals in any circumstance. You stop needing ideal conditions to stay consistent. You stop letting other people's opinions determine your momentum. The pressure from your environment becomes the force that strengthens your determination instead of weakening it. It's important to understand that your environment does not have the authority to define your destiny. The people around you do not control your calling. They do not determine your potential. They do not shape your worth. Their opinions are limited by their experiences, while your vision is guided by your purpose. When you realize this, you stop internalizing their doubts and start prioritizing your own clarity. You move from seeking approval to seeking alignment. Sometimes the validation you are waiting for will only appear after you've succeeded. People rarely applaud the beginning stages of growth because they can't see the invisible work happening behind the scenes. They don't see the discipline, the late nights, the sacrifices, or the commitment. But once the results become undeniable, the same people who doubted you often become the ones who admire you. This is why you can't pause your journey waiting for validation. It usually comes last. Your environment may not validate you, but you don't need validation to rise. You only need vision, commitment, and the courage to honor your purpose even when no one else understands it. The absence of validation teaches you to stand firm, think independently, and grow beyond the level of your surroundings. It becomes the training ground that prepares you to elevate your life without depending on anyone else to confirm your path. Belief means action because genuine confidence reveals itself through what you do, not what you say. Anyone can talk about their goals, their dreams, or their intentions, but only those who act on their belief demonstrate its authenticity. Real belief doesn't wait for perfect timing or ideal circumstances. It moves forward despite uncertainty. It pushes you beyond hesitation and into execution. When you truly believe in something, you behave in alignment with it, even when results are not visible yet. Belief shows up in the choices you make every day. It shows up in your willingness to work when no one is watching, to practice when no one is applauding, and to grow when no one is encouraging you. Every action you take becomes a declaration of what you believe is possible for your life. When you act consistently, you reinforce your belief. When you fail to act, you weaken it. Your behavior becomes the mirror that reflects your inner conviction. Belief means taking steps before the path fully reveals itself. You don't wait until you have everything figured out. You don't wait until you feel completely ready. You move with the understanding that clarity grows through motion. Each action you take gives you more insight, more feedback, and more confidence. Inaction keeps you stuck in your mind. Action moves you closer to your future. Belief is not passive, it pulls you into momentum. When belief fuels your action, you stop giving energy to excuses. You stop letting fear dictate your pace. You stop negotiating with procrastination. You stop allowing temporary emotions to sabotage long-term goals. Action becomes your way of honoring your vision. Even small steps carry power because they reinforce the identity of someone who follows through. You become disciplined not because it's easy, but because your belief demands it. Belief-driven action separates intention from transformation. Many people intend to change, but only those who act experience change. Intention is the desire, action is the decision. Intention talks about the dream, action builds it. Intention imagines the future, action creates it. When you understand this difference, you stop mistaking good intentions for real progress. You recognize that motivation may start the journey, but disciplined action is what sustains it. Belief also requires courage because action often takes you into uncomfortable territory. Growth is never found in the comfort zone. You may have to face challenges, endure criticism, outgrow environments, and overcome moments of doubt, but action strengthens your resilience. Each time you take a step, you prove to yourself that you can handle what comes next. Courage grows with every bit of effort you invest in your future. Belief means showing up consistently, even on the days when you don't feel inspired. Success is built on routines, not random bursts of energy. Your commitment must be stronger than your mood. You act not because the journey is easy, but because the vision matters. You do the work because you know that excellence is created through repetition, refinement, and persistence. Consistency transforms belief from an idea into a reality. When you believe deeply enough, you stop waiting for approval or permission. You stop asking whether you're capable and start proving that you are capable. Your actions speak louder than the doubts that try to hold you back. You begin to trust your own ability to grow, adapt, and succeed. External noise loses its influence because your internal conviction gains strength. You learn to rely on execution instead of validation. Belief-backed action increases your confidence. Each time you take a step forward, you build evidence that you're capable. Each challenge you overcome reinforces your strength. Each small win compounds into a larger identity shift. Confidence does not magically appear, it grows through action. The more you do, the more you believe. The more you believe, the more you do. This cycle becomes the engine that drives your transformation. Belief means action because action is the bridge between who you are and who you are becoming. Without action, belief remains potential. With action, belief becomes power. You step into a new level of purpose, discipline, and identity. You start living the kind of life that aligns with your highest vision instead of your lowest doubts. Through consistent, intentional action, your belief turns into progress, and your progress turns into proof. Your purpose is a daily assignment because it doesn't exist as a one-time achievement or a distant goal. It's something you engage with every single day. Living with purpose requires consistent attention, intentional choices, and a willingness to align your actions with the life you are meant to create. Each morning presents a new opportunity to step into that purpose, to act on it, and to demonstrate through your deeds that you are committed to fulfilling it. Purpose is not something that waits for the perfect moment. It demands daily engagement. Understanding your purpose requires clarity, and clarity comes through repeated reflection and disciplined action. You cannot expect to stumble upon it once and live by it effortlessly. You must wake up each day ready to contribute, to serve, to grow, and to take ownership of the impact you are capable of making. Purpose thrives in the consistency of daily effort. Every small, Deliberate action compounds over time, shaping a life that reflects the calling you were born to pursue. Your purpose challenges you to prioritize the meaningful over the convenient. It asks you to make decisions that may feel uncomfortable, but ultimately align with who you are becoming. Choosing purpose over ease requires discipline and courage because the world often celebrates the immediate reward rather than the long-term vision. Yet those who treat their purpose as a daily assignment understand that fulfillment is built on deliberate choices, not fleeting pleasures. Every day you choose purpose, you reinforce your direction and strengthen your impact. Purpose also demands that you manage your time with precision. Each day is a finite resource, and how you spend it determines how effectively you live into your calling. You must learn to focus on what truly matters, to eliminate distractions, and to invest energy into actions that move you closer to your vision. Daily attention to your purpose sharpens your ability to prioritize, to say no to what is irrelevant, and to say yes to what aligns with the life you are building. Time becomes a tool, not an obstacle. Living your purpose daily requires resilience because there will be obstacles that test your commitment. You will face moments of doubt, delays, and setbacks that seem to question your path. Yet the assignment continues regardless of circumstance. Purpose is revealed not when life is easy, but when you persist despite difficulty. Each challenge is an opportunity to grow stronger, refine your strategy, and reaffirm your commitment. The consistent pursuit of purpose transforms adversity into a stepping stone. Your purpose demands intentional growth. You cannot pursue it passively or without preparation. Each day you must invest in yourself through learning, reflection, and discipline so that your capacity to fulfill your mission expands alongside the challenges you encounter. Purpose grows when you grow, and stagnation in personal development limits the impact you can have. Treating purpose as a daily assignment means continuously building your skills, mindset, and character to meet the demands of your calling. Purpose requires action over planning alone. You may have clarity about your direction, but without daily execution, vision remains unrealized. Each day offers tasks, decisions, and opportunities that shape your trajectory. Small actions performed consistently are more powerful than occasional bursts of inspiration. Purpose is made tangible through persistent effort, not lofty ideas. It is revealed in the work you commit to, the challenges you face, and the responsibility you take for translating vision into reality. Living purposefully each day cultivates discipline and accountability. You cannot delegate your responsibility to someone else, nor can you outsource your progress. Each day you are responsible for showing up, making choices aligned with your calling, and pushing forward despite distractions or obstacles. This accountability reinforces your identity as someone who not only understands their purpose, but actively lives it. Your daily habits become the measure of how seriously you take the life you are building. Daily pursuit of purpose strengthens your influence and impact. Each action, no matter how small, sends ripples into your environment and the lives of those around you. Purposeful living does not occur in isolation. It touches others through your decisions, your energy, and your commitment. When you treat your purpose as a daily assignment, you create consistency that builds credibility, inspires others, and compounds into lasting results. Your presence becomes a force for transformation because it is intentional, disciplined, and aligned. Ultimately, treating your purpose as a daily assignment transforms your mindset from reactive to proactive. You no longer wait for life to happen to you. You step forward intentionally every day. You measure success not only by milestones, but by the integrity of your daily actions. Purpose becomes a living practice, a framework for decision-making, and a lens through which you evaluate every opportunity and challenge. Daily engagement ensures that your life is an active expression of the calling you are committed to fulfill. Courage and conviction unlock your next level because growth always demands stepping into the unknown. Advancement rarely happens within the comfort of familiar routines, and true progress requires confronting fear with determination. Courage is the fuel that pushes you forward when hesitation whispers that it's safer to stay where you are. Conviction is the anchor that keeps you grounded in your purpose when external pressure or internal doubt threatens to sway you. Together, they create the force necessary to break through limitations and reach higher levels of achievement. Every next level requires decisions that feel uncomfortable, even risky. Courage is not the absence of fear. It is the decision to act despite it. When you face uncertainty, take bold steps and challenge the status quo, you create momentum that propels you beyond your previous boundaries. Conviction ensures that your actions are aligned with your values and vision. It is the inner certainty that your path is worth pursuing, regardless of temporary setbacks or opposition. Without courage, opportunity remains unclaimed. Without conviction, effort becomes scattered and inconsistent. Courage allows you to confront challenges that others avoid. It is what separates those who dream from those who accomplish. Every breakthrough begins with a step into discomfort, whether that's confronting a fear, pursuing a bold idea, or standing firm against criticism. Conviction transforms that courage into consistent action. It gives you the clarity to remain focused on your goals, even when the path is unclear and the results are not immediate. Together, they transform uncertainty into opportunity and fear into fuel. To reach your next level, you must embrace the possibility of failure as a necessary part of the journey. Courage allows you to take calculated risks without being paralyzed by the potential for mistakes. Conviction reinforces the belief that failure is feedback, not finality. Each setback becomes a lesson, each challenge a test of resilience, and each moment of doubt an opportunity to strengthen your commitment. Without the combination of courage and conviction, fear dictates your limits and keeps you confined within familiar boundaries. Courage and conviction also demand personal accountability. They require that you own your choices, your actions, and your outcomes. You cannot rely solely on external motivation or validation to propel yourself forward. When you are courageous, you take responsibility for moving forward, even when the world does not provide guarantees. Conviction ensures that every step you take is intentional, aligned with your purpose, and fueled by a clear understanding of why your next level is worth pursuing. Accountability becomes a source of empowerment rather than pressure. Conviction gives your courage direction. Acting bravely without a clear purpose can lead to wasted effort or distraction. Conviction is the compass that ensures every courageous step is meaningful, moving you closer to the life you are building. It aligns your actions with your vision, strengthens your focus, and provides resilience when obstacles arise. Courage ignites motion, but conviction sustains it, creating a trajectory that steadily advances you toward your highest potential. Courage and conviction cultivate a mindset that thrives under pressure. The higher you aim, the more resistance you encounter. Criticism, doubt, and uncertainty are inevitable when stepping beyond your current level. Courage allows you to stand firm in the face of opposition, while conviction keeps you anchored in your purpose. This combination fosters resilience, grit, and determination, enabling you to navigate challenges without losing momentum or direction. Pressure becomes a catalyst for growth rather than a barrier. The pursuit of your next level requires bold decisions, and bold decisions require the integration of courage and conviction. You must be willing to risk the familiar, challenge assumptions, and defy the expectations of those around you. Conviction ensures that your risks are grounded in clarity and purpose, preventing reckless choices while amplifying meaningful action. Courage fuels the initiative to act, and conviction fuels the persistence to continue even when results are not immediate or recognition is absent. Courage and conviction inspire others around you. When you step boldly into your purpose and act with unwavering certainty, you become a model of what is possible. People are drawn to the energy of someone who refuses to be limited by fear and acts consistently in alignment with their vision. This influence amplifies your impact, creating opportunities, alliances, and breakthroughs that extend beyond your personal efforts. The next level is not achieved in isolation. It is shaped by the power of presence that courage and conviction generate. Ultimately, courage and conviction unlock your next level by transforming hesitation into action and uncertainty into progress. They allow you to break free from the boundaries of comfort, to navigate challenges with clarity, and to move forward with relentless determination. Every new level requires stepping beyond what you know into what you are capable of becoming, and the combination of courage to act and conviction to persist ensures that you do not remain trapped by limitations, doubt, or fear.